Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and I'm here with a big shaker card. Actually, it's a big bear shaker card. It's part of the new release from Waffle Flower Crafts. It's November 2018. How awesome is this stamp set? Comes with coordinating dies, and I've just popped those on a magnetic sheet just to keep them all together because some of them are quite small. And I hate losing dies. I hate losing stamps too. Anyway, I decided to do some zig colouring today, and I've got my Bristol cardstock. It's smooth, Bristol smooth, and it's one of the cardstocks that actually does work really well with the zig markers. Because they're like a water-based paint, watercolour paint, I do need to use a permanent ink, so I have got my archival jet black ink. I'm stamping out 2 panels of the big bear. I've actually split it into 2. And you'll see why as I'm colouring. One of them is going to be the background and one of them is going to be in the foreground. So I just found it was easier to do it this way. I did leave my stamp in the stamp positioning tool just in case I did need to come back and restamp it after I'd finished colouring, but actually I didn't need to today. So when I use my zigs, I do like to often do direct to paper because they're a beautiful kind of bold colours. They're really nice, bright, vibrant colours. And to dilute them out, you can use water. The thing with Bristol smooth cardstock is it's not technically a watercolour cardstock, though it does tolerate quite a good amount of water. Just to be aware that if you did want to add a lot of water, like you were watercolouring, you probably would be better to try and use a watercoloured cardstock, but then the zigs don't work so well. So if you did decide to do that, it's probably easier just to use maybe a different kind of watercolour. So I do like to, you might have noticed there, I was mixing my colours of zig together on the, like actually blending them. You can actually do that where you blend your 2 colours together, but I do want to dilute it out. So I came in with my brush that I'd already dipped in some water and just pulled the edges of the colour towards each other, and that just gets rid of those sharp edges that I didn't want. The other way that I remove colour is with a paper towel, and that's good because these are such bold colours. It's a really easy way to give you those sort of watercolory tones where they're, you know, like they're kind of washed. I know, it's watercolor, it should look washy. And initially I was going to go for all those beautiful soft bright colors. I don't know if that makes sense either, but I ended up going with the bright bold colors. It just kind of worked in well with the bear, and I saw some sequins that I wanted to use in my big shaker, and that just led the direction for the colours. It's a real mix of colours today. I didn't sort of stick to any kind of colour rules here. I just went all out. So this is a really cool release from Waffle Flower Crafts. There's another one of the swatchy stamps that's come out. I thought I might get started on swatching out some watercolours myself. I find that a bit daunting, but it's probably a really good way to learn the colours that I've got. There's a couple of Christmassy ones as well, and the great thing about this particular stamp, it's called Holiday Thanks. So it can be used for more than Christmas, because if you'll notice, there's no baubles in the tree, there's no Santa hat on the actual bear. It can be made, there are actually birthday hats within the stamp set as well, so, and some birthday sentiments as well as Christmas holiday thank you sentiments. So it's brilliant. You can actually use this stamp set all year round, and that's something I really like about it. And of course, because this is part of a release, there is going to be heaps of inspiration from other crafters showing you lots and lots of different ways to use these fabulous brand new products. Don't forget to head to my blog post where you can find the links, and you'll find the link to my blog post in the description below. Oh, I was going to tell you here too, when I was colouring, this is actually the back of the bear, and I just coloured it like a shadow in the room to make it look like it wasn't actually a bear. No one will ever know. The background here I did colour with some Distress inks. I like them for a background. I find that they wash really well and they work perfectly on the Bristol Smooth. And I did actually come in and shake some of the white spatters all over the backgrounds once they dried. They didn't take long to dry, especially the zigs. They really don't take long to dry at all. But these spatters, it took forever to dry. In the end, I had to actually hit it with my heat tool like 2 or 3 times, and that was really frustrating. But anyway, we got there. So for the shaker portion of my card, I came in with the stitched layers. It's the largest one. I actually cut the panel as big as my card front and then just lined up the stitched layer. And then I was able to die cut my bear and the other couple of bits that I coloured up there as well. And I just love the way that this die cut, and you will need like a big shot or a bigger die cutting machine for this because it is quite a large die. But it actually die cut the centre out from under the table, which is wonderful. How cute's that? So I wanted to do my sentiment on the acetate, and I remember now why I don't emboss on acetate very often. It does warp. It's a pain. I didn't hit it for very long at all, but I still probably hit it with my heat tool for too long. So cute sentiment though. It comes from the it's the Christmas tree. It was released last month. It's the one with that comes with the stamp set that has the pop out Christmas tree, which I have and I can't wait to use. I couldn't resist it. I had to get it. I've actually invested in a few Christmas stamps this year. I'm so excited. Alright, so I just used some tape runner. I wanted this bear to be on the front of the acetate, and this is going to really help me because this is such a big shaker. I didn't want the whole thing to be too floppy, so by putting that image on the front, I can adhere it down to the acetate, and then when I pop it up on the front of the card, it's got some more support behind it. So how cool is that? It's hard lining up acetate because it's see-through and my eyesight's not the best, although I do have new glasses and I can see heaps better, thank you. It's funny how that happens. And then I did actually put that little bird up the top, and I got a smudge. I wasn't going to put the Santa hat on, although I originally was. I did get a smudge of what do you call it, a tape runner on the acetate, and you know how hard that is to get off, so I just went, it was behind where the hat was going to be, so that was fortuitous, and I just adhered the hat. Now I've grabbed these sprinkles. These were the inspiration. They're from, the colours were, there are some pretty pink posh ones. Fairy Tale Fuchsia, Ocean Spray and Peridot Mix. How cool are they? And of course some diamond dust. Had to go in there as well. That's from Twinklets. That's the Twinklets diamond dust. I did do a couple of layers of foam behind my images and used some score tape, and I have put it under a book to flatten out. So thanks for joining me. If you like this video, please like it. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.